we're going to be talking about a particular person that everybody knows. In fact, he's so popular, I bet you can guess who he is just by a short description of him. He was born in April, he has black hair, an iconic square mustache, got in trouble for his political ideologies in the 1940s, lived in Europe, and was incredibly well known. I am, of course, talking about Charlie Chaplin. And if you thought it was anyone else, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Charlie Chaplin is the world's most well-documented mime throughout history, making 106 silent films and being known as one of the kings of comedy. But where do mimes come from, I hear you asking? Well, most people assume that they originated in France. Those people are wrong. And I hate them. Instead of originating in France, the first mime appeared in Greece around the 5th century BC as comedians. They entertained the masses by, well, miming things. Because they're mimes. But these mimes sometimes spoke, and they did their miming to music. But mimes aren't supposed to speak. That's against the whole art form. Shut the hell up, you poopy, stinky, ugly, inky, trip, not sneaky, baby, binky, plebeian. We're not there yet. A separate form of miming had developed in not so far away Rome, circa 100 BC. These Roman mimes focused on more intimate forms of entertainment, but a different kind of Roman mime known as the pantomimes were also prevalent in the mime community at that time. These guys focused more on expressive entertainment, often using masks, expressive posture, and hand gestures. But wait, there's more! For all you sweaty neckbeard Discord moderating anime enthusiasts, there's a brand spanking new Japanese mime known as the No. Now you too can enjoy the great art of miming, like a normal person. The Japanese No used props, costumes, and interpretive dance to mime out what they were doing, which influenced the stylings of the more contemporary French mime you know so well today. Speaking of which, Jean-Gaspard Baptiste Debrau was a French mime credited as the father of mimes. As in 1811, Debrau introduced miming to the French people while touring with his family as roaming acrobats. Little side note here, the French people loved mimes so much, they actually established schools where people could learn how to become an effective mime. Those still are running today. One of the most famous mimes, other than Charlie Chaplin, was known as Bip, or as his non-mime human parents called him, Marcel Macro. I'm not French, and I don't know how to pronounce anything in French, so if that's wrong, suck it. Bip was portrayed as not having good luck and typically finding himself in non-ideal situations, which was funny as hell to a bunch of depressed French dudes. Now, I know what you're all thinking, and yes, it's time to get political. Just like your drunk uncle on Thanksgiving, I'm gonna talk about mime politics! The modern mime can be split into two factions, literal and abstract. A literal mime tells a story with a plot and characters, typically involving humorous anecdotes and wacky situations to incite humor. Whereas an abstract mime does not feature a main character and has no plot. Instead of telling a story, they focus more on provoking thought about a particular subject by expressing feelings and emotions. And you already know that I'm as abstract a mime as anyone can possibly get. Plot? Never heard of it. Characters? Who's got time for that? And I am so ready to throw down with anyone who disagrees with my political views on mimes and mime culture. Anyways, Charlie Chaplin was a pantomime, meaning that he would move around very expressively rather than just stand still in an invisible box. He was also a literal mime, considering that he had plot and characters, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cringe literal mime, but hey, we're not here to judge, we're just here to learn. Chaplin's films were accompanied by music, but never with talking, because Chaplin believed that comedy could not be translated to audiences by having characters talk. So take that, loud equals funny content creators. The world-renowned comedian and mime Charlie Chaplin just called you unfunny. Also, if you're still curious about his political trouble, people thought he was a communist, and there was a whole fiasco, but he was all like, oh yeah, I'm not a communist, but I like communism, stuff like that. So like, yeah, that was it. But that's not something we're gonna worry about. We're not gonna worry about that. So yeah, that's basically Charlie Chaplin. I mean, all you really need to know about him is that he was a mime. Kind of just went into more mime culture than anything else. But hey, the people need to know. Anyway, I feel the best way to end this off is just with a little miming of my own. So here you go.